Did you notice? Iron Man's helmet is actually a huge security flaw. When Iron Man opens his helmet in front of Captain America, the entire faceplate retracts completely from his head. Even after Tony created the nanotech armor, the helmet still fully detaches from his head. But in that scene in Civil War, when Hawkeye fires an arrow and cuts the webbing in Captain America's hand, Iron Man sees the arrow and is suddenly startled. He instantly covers his head with the helmet, because in that open state, anyone could attack Iron Man from behind, and he wouldn't even notice. In Infinity War, when the Guardians of the Galaxy throw that bomb at the Avengers, Iron Man doesn't detect it until the bomb is right in front of him. At that moment, he realizes an important problem. Using a fully open helmet in the armor exposes his head, and creates a risk of being caught off guard. Even his most advanced technology can't always predict that. That's why in Endgame, even though he's wearing the nanotech armor, Tony redesigns the helmet based on his older models. The new helmet only opens from the front. This way, even when the faceplate retracts, the back of his head is still protected. And you know, Iron Man always learns from his mistakes.
I am Iron Man. The suit and I are one. To turn over the Iron Man suit would be to turn over. You can take away my house, all my tricks and toys. One thing you can't take away, I am Iron Man.
Why does Hawkeye never run out of arrows? Because he's the only ordinary human on the Avengers team. Every time he goes on a mission, he only carries one quiver. But the impressive thing is, his arrows never miss. The secret is simple. He retrieves every single arrow after each battle. During team assembly scenes in the Avengers movies, you can see Hawkeye quietly collecting his arrows at the back of the group. Even when he's surrounded by Chitauri soldiers on a rooftop, he still pulls his arrows out of the downed enemies. As the threats got stronger, his gear also got upgraded. By Avengers: Age of Ultron, he had a mini quiver strapped to his leg plus new collapsible arrows. He could carry a lot more ammunition than before. Of course, Hawkeye is just a regular human, but he's an elite soldier. With his compound bow, he can hold his own in close-quarters combat against Black Panther. His high-tech specialty arrows have even given Iron Man trouble. Even Loki, the so-called god of mischief, fell to his arrows. By Endgame, Hawkeye was operating deep behind enemy lines to protect the Infinity Gauntlet, pushing the limits of what an ordinary human can do. In battle, he's both an archer and an assassin, with exceptional tactical skills. Hawkeye's arrows are just as versatile as he is. Grapple arrows let him swing between skyscrapers and shake off pursuers. Torpedo arrows can pierce Chitauri ships and trigger explosions. Shock arrows can take down enemies in an instant. In his fight against Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye caught her completely off guard. Even Vision was briefly stunned by the electric current. Split arrows split into multiple arrowheads mid-flight, making them nearly impossible to defend against. In the end, every team needs a long-range damage dealer, and with Hawkeye on the team, victory is always within reach. Did you notice? Banner uses his transformation move to scare Peter Parker. He definitely hasn't forgotten who Spider-Man is. Banner was once terrified of turning into the Hulk and hurting others. He also knew that the inhibitor he developed was extremely fragile enough to break with just a light touch. So why did he bother telling Peter what it did? Because he still remembers that Peter is Spider-Man. First, when Peter called out to him, Banner didn't show any confusion at all. In fact, he even smiled. He also pretended to transform just to scare Peter. But Banner only plays that kind of joke on Friends. He knew that even if he actually transformed, Stark and the others could completely handle the Hulk. If he didn't know Peter, how could he be so relaxed and unguarded around him? Second, Banner had already seen through the fact that Peter wasn't really his student. But when he questioned Peter, the smile on his face was clearly amused. Peter also seemed to suddenly realize something. And when Banner turned into Grey Hulk, Peter didn't run away immediately, because he didn't sense any hostility from the Hulk. If they both knew each other's identities, there's no way Peter would be that calm in front of the Hulk. Most importantly, in the comics, the Hulk is the only one who still remembers that Peter is Spider-Man. And by this point, Banner has already merged with the Hulk. So it makes perfect sense that he would also know Peter's identity. Are you looking forward to seeing the Hulk recognize Peter? Why does the giant Ant-Man corpse show up in the Void Wasteland in Deadpool 3? This detail might actually trace back to a small goof in Endgame. When Cassandra Nova appears, her entire base is built inside a giant Ant-Man corpse. So the real question is, when exactly was Ant-Man pruned and dumped there? The answer goes back to a tiny mistake in AVG4. Most viewers probably didn't even notice it. In AVG4, when Ant-Man runs back to the van to activate the time machine, the screen suddenly cuts back to the battlefield. In the top left corner of the screen, an image appears that shouldn't be there. A giant Ant-Man is fighting, but at that moment Ant-Man is still in the van starting up the time machine. He can't be in two places at once. This giant Ant-Man shouldn't exist. It's a visual effects error, but Marvel didn't just ignore it. In Deadpool 3, when Deadpool appears at the TV, take a close look at the screen behind him. That very shot is playing on it. This is no coincidence. It's clearly meant to convey something. So the speculation goes like this. The TVA spotted that extra Ant-Man, realized he didn't belong in the main timeline, and pruned him. Where do pruned variants go? The void, the wasteland of broken timelines. In other words, the giant corpse that Cassandra Nova is using is actually that Ant-Man from the VFX goof in AVG4. You know what? In the MCU, Hulk doesn't listen to anyone, except Captain America.
And Hulk.
And there's a very specific reason for that. Only Captain America did one thing right. First, you have to understand that before Hulk and Bruce Banner merged, they were essentially two separate consciousnesses. Hulk was Hulk, and Banner was Banner. And Hulk absolutely hates being called Banner. Just look at how the other superheroes handled it.
Your enemy's Banner. Try to think!
In the Avengers, Thor tries to calm down an enraged Hulk with words. Not only does it not work, it makes Hulk even angrier. Iron Man, who considers himself the smartest guy in the room, makes the same mistake.
You're Bruce Banner. Dick move, Banner.
Later, in Thor Ragnarok, Thor still doesn't get it. He keeps calling him Banner.
Hey, Banner!
No Banner, only Hulk!
Out of the entire team, only Captain America distinguishes between the two states. He understands that Hulk and Banner are two different individuals, and he treats Hulk as a completely equal teammate.
And Hulk.
Cap genuinely respects Hulk, and that's exactly why. Hulk listens
Smash.
to Captain America. Even an ordinary coat rack can hold Thor's hammer, but Stan Lee's pickup truck couldn't drag it even a millimeter.
Did it work?
In Avengers, Age of Ultron, Vision lifts Mjolnir effortlessly. Thor is completely stunned, and every Avenger present is left staring in disbelief. Tony Stark speculates that Vision can lift the hammer because he's an android, and the hammer's enchantment doesn't work on him. But Stan Lee's pickup truck is also a machine. So why can't it do the same? Some say it's because the truck is being controlled by a human. That human consciousness affects the outcome. However, in the first Avengers movie, Mjolnir lands on the deck of the S.H.I.E.L.D. helicarrier, and the carrier doesn't collapse. That carrier is also operated by humans. This shows there's a logical contradiction in that argument. Don't forget, the enchantment Odin placed on Mjolnir is, only those who are pure of heart can lift it. The Hulk, with all his brute strength, can't budge it at all. Even Iron Man, with his suit's thrusters at full power, can't move it an inch. But when it's Captain America's turn, he grabs the hammer with both hands and pulls with everything he's got. The hammer just wobbles slightly. Thor's expression immediately turns serious. Under Thor's tense gaze, Cap gives it everything he has, but then suddenly gives up. Thor visibly breathes a sigh of relief.
But if you put the hammer in an elevator, it would still go up. Elevator's not worth it.